One of the most anticipated LEGO sets of the summer was just announced, the Prize Machine. This set has 1,343 pieces, has a whopping 16 minifigs. It's the next installment in the Ideas line, and it will set you back $170 US. Is this set all that it cracked up to be? Are the new castle minifig factions our passion in this video especially? Are they worth it? Is this really worth the potentially exorbitant price? Well, we're going to answer all those questions in this breakdown, so let's dive in. This set is called the Prize Machine, and the machine is really where almost all of the pieces are dedicated for this set. Now, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because the focal point is the minifigs. However, I do want to mention that the LEGO designer for this Ideas project spent a lot of time on it. It does look extremely good. I want to emphasize a couple of the details that I like of this machine. First of all, I like the sleek look of it. Notice that there are a lot of snot techniques that are used in order to get that exterior finish. Also, note that we have quite large panels for the actual top part of the machine where you can look in and see the minifigs. Now, I like this because it's very different from the ship in the bottle, which was one of the first LEGO idea set and, in my opinion, looked a bit fractured because of the sheer number of panels that had to be included. With larger panels here for this particular set, it reduces that fracturing of the line of sight and is a better and cleaner look overall. I also want to appreciate the mechanism by which you insert your little LEGO coin, you turn the crank, and a minifig drops out. It really is a fantastic piece of LEGO engineering. Of course, the minifigs are the focal point of this set and why a lot of fans voted for it on LEGO Ideas, and it is, of course, going to be the focal point of this video. Now, for us, the big highlights are the two new castle factions, the Griffin Knights and the Kraken Knights. So let's go ahead and start there. There are two Kraken Knights, one with a cutlass, the other with a bow. The torsos are excellent. You have the Kraken logo on a breastplate with a teal shirt and vertical striping. Their arms are dark green, which is matched by the dark green scarf around their neck. Their legs are reddish brown and printed to maintain that vertical teal striping down to just above the knees, and there is a small insignia on the right hip. They each get copper helmets that, when combined with the scarves, obscure their entire face except for the eyes. This is befitting of a seafaring faction that faces harsh conditions. They get round shields, which is a wonderful thing to see in this set. The rim is teal, while the large center is dark green with the Kraken insignia. All told, these minifigs are excellent. I really like how they use the Kraken insignia on both the torsos and the shield. And while some people don't like the reddish brown legs, I think they work just fine. And the minifigs overall are, I think, sufficiently dark for a northern seafaring faction. We also get two Griffin Knights, which are identical with the exception of their face printing. Like with the Kraken Knights, they are very detailed overall. They have a chainmail torso with a protective collar. The reddish-brown belt cuts through nicely, and the silver of the chainmail contrasts well with the dark red arms. The legs, like with the Kraken Knights, are printed, with the chainmail flowing down and some leather armor printing. The helmets are not so vintage, as they are more of a modern take on the castle helmets, and they each get one of the Roman gladius swords with a thick crossguard, which first appeared in LEGO form in 2021. My favorite part of this minifig, though, is the Hylian shield. That is incredible. The gold trim is juxtaposed with a dark red base and a white griffin that has a silver gray printed helmet and wings. This is beautiful, and unlike with the Kraken Knights decaled torso, distinguishes them from other factions. Of the two factions, I am drawn to the Griffin Knights. I love the color scheme and I love the Hylian shields, but I also like the chainmail look. It looks excellent. It reminds me of some of the knights from the Black Monarch's castle and the Black Knight's castle from back when I was a kid, sets 6085 and 6086. Gotta pull those numbers out of the head. So really enjoy those. I do like both of the factions though, so it's almost like a 1A and 1B. Although there are 4 castle minifigs and 2 brand new factions, I don't want to shortchange the other minifigs in the set, including those 2 new colors of classic space characters. 2 of the minifigs are gold, the other 2 are teal. Some positive aspects to These minifigs include that they have their own oxygen tanks, classic smiley faces, as well as the classic helmet without the visors. I know it's perhaps a triviality for some fans, but the non-visored helmet was important to me if they truly were going to be OG classic spacemen, even though the visored versions appeared during the 1980s. And these are, I think, really well executed. They're not super complex in terms of the printing and all of that, so I think they're sufficiently old school classic spacemen for collectors and fans of the old line. So I think they're going to do extremely well with this set and in the aftermarket. There are some other nostalgia-inducing minifigs in this set, especially from some old-time themes. Let's check those out. We have two Paradisa figures, one male, the other female. Now they have the exact same torsos and printed legs, but different heads and accessories. The torso is brand new, best as I can tell, featuring palm trees ensconced in a sunset with Paradisa printed in pink with a black mask. Their hips and legs have the same teal swimsuit bottom. So while not a replica of past minifigs like with the classic Spaceman, these Paradisa minifigs I think are going to go over well with a lot of fans just because they're well done and they bring back some of those nostalgic memories. Perhaps more exciting for me on the nostalgia front, because I didn't have any Paradisa sets, are the two Fabuland minifigs. These are new torso prints that embrace the blue and yellow color scheme that was often featured in the Fabuland sets. The logo is printed across the chest and is well done. One Fabu fig, if we can call it, has a bear head, while the other has an elephant. Note that the bear resembles who I believe to be Bernard the bear from the original lineup, which also had the red pants, and the other copies Ernie the elephant's light gray pants and blue torso. These are pretty fun for a couple of reasons, biggest being that they have the little costume heads on them, which I think adds a lot to them. But I really enjoy the Fabuland printing and the nostalgia that it brings back, and also maybe connects it with the Ninjago City Crossroads, which did have some printed signs for Fabuland in that set. Many of the remaining minifigs are generic, but I do want to give a shout out to the pirate captain of sorts. I really enjoy the minifig torso with its tan jacket, white vest, and dark red shirt / bow combination. That will certainly be a useful torso for classic pirate fans. As is always the case right now when it comes to LEGO set releases, the price is definitely contentious. As I mentioned at the top of the video, this is a $170 US set. It might be a little bit cheaper in Europe, tariffs and all that, but I think a lot of fans are questioning the value. This is more than 10 cents per piece. Now, when you think about it, getting 16 minifigs in a set that's just over 1,300 pieces, that doesn't strike me as crazy. If you'll note that when you see sets that have this many minifigs or more, it's going to be sets like the Avengers Tower, Rivendell, and others that are really massive. The Ninjago City Markets, for instance, those are $300, $400, $500 and more sets. So this is not that. And I think because of that, you end up with a little bit of a higher price relative to the number of pieces that you get in. Now, one way that I view this set is that it really is a collection of minifigs like the CMF series, and then you get a machine on top of that. And if you look at the CMF series, they cost $5 per minifig, or at least they did in January here in the United States. So 5 times 16, that's $80. And so you're looking at about a $90 machine plus $80 worth of minifigs. And when you look at it that way, the price isn't so bad, right? If you think about it, you've got about 1,300 pieces or so with the machine. That's going to come to a much better price per piece ratio when you view it that way than just with the minifigs. Of course, critics of this argument might say that, well, the minifigs equal the number you would see in a collectible minifig series in some cases, but the quality isn't there. You'll notice that only a handful of these minifigs in the set have printed legs, and none of them have dual molded legs. Also, the accessories are a bit low in terms of quality, or just the diversity and the different types of accessories you might get in a collectible minifig series, and so they're maybe not at the same value as that $5 collectible minifig. So if you knock down that price to $4 or maybe $4.50 per minifig, the value on the machine doesn't become quite as strong. Additionally, critics have noted that you get duplicates of some of these minifigs, such as the Griffin Knights and even, by and large, the Kraken Knights. Same thing with the classic Spaceman. My rejoinder to that would be, well, if you have a machine like this, you're going to have duplicates. Also, I think it's nice, especially for Castle fans, to get multiples of a knight, especially a new faction, in a set, rather than having to go online and buy a bunch of them on Bricklink or eBay secondhand, or wait for that to come out on Pick and Build online, which it may not happen. So getting multiples, I think, is a good plan for a lot of those minifigs. I'm okay with that, and I think most LEGO fans are. All told, I think this is a set that if you love the 1970s, 80s, and 90s minifigs and those lines, I think you're going to love the minifigs. If you're into the whole cool LEGO contraptions, I think you'll like the machine reasonably well. If those aren't your cup of tea, then you're probably not watching this video, so yeah. But I will also note that this is probably a set you don't need to go out and buy on day one. If that $170 price tag is a bit steep for you, definitely find opportunities for the set at a cheaper cost, whether it's through double insiders points or if you can find it on sale. I don't know how often LEGO idea sets go on sale, because usually I buy them on day one if I'm going to get them. I don't get all of them, and so I don't really follow them as well. So it could be a while before this one would go on sale. If I recall correctly, I think the Viking Village went on sale toward the end of its life cycle. So it could be a year, 18-month, maybe even 2-year wait for this one to hit that price. Still, I think it's worth the wait. And there is a hope that if you like the minifigs, or especially the Castle minifigs, you might be able to see them in next year's offerings. I'm hoping. I have no insider knowledge on that. This is not any sort of a leak. This really is me hoping that with these new factions, along with those horse knights that we get in the Creator 3-in-1 Castle, LEGO's going to give us something that really focuses on those factions in the future. That way it's not just a one-off from a couple of sets in 2025. So there is that hope. And if that is the case, and you're a big fan of just the minifigs, probably be able to find them online in the next couple of years, reasonably priced, and you could either army build or get a couple of them for your collection without having to spend as much money on the secondhand market now or on the set itself. So overall, I think this is a really cool set. I plan on getting this because of the minifigs. I want to review this for the channel and let you guys have the information that you need to make a decision on whether or not you want to buy that set. I also am curious to know what your favorite minifig in this set is. Put that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and always remember, keep building together.